Speaking of the NFC, the Eagles, I did want to bring this up, guys. Eagles, Packers, Vikings. Eagles beat barely the Panthers. We watched that game together, Boone, and that game. This is the thing, and Corey spoke about it. The Eagles, and I know the number one seed's still a thing. You look at the Eagles; they got to face the Steelers, they got to face the Commanders, Lions got to face Bills, 49ers, Vikings, some good teams in there. Bears, of course, but whatever. The Eagles, to me, I am not, and now you're seeing it come out with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Apparently, A.J. Brown's that upset. He's not getting the ball. The Eagles, they got a little shade of, playoff win in a bounce. I'm sorry, they do. When you have that type of internal issues, like Saquon Barkley is incredible, and he's been on an insane run. But it seems like the feeling I get from the Eagles is unless Saquon Barkley goes God mode throughout the playoffs, they're going to get bounced. Like they don't have a consistent pass game to me. That why I look at the Eagles and I say, okay, if you go into a game with the Lions and you struggle to run the football, or not struggle because Saquon, I'll just give Saquon some respect. Let's say he runs for 70, 80 yards. Can Jalen Hurts beat the Lions with his arm? My conclusion is no, based on what I've seen. He's had like 6. I think half the games he's played in this year, he's had under 200 yards passing. That's a problem. That to me is, and I know winning. When it comes down to it, the Lions have shown Packers, they can't run the ball. Cool. Goff can step back, throw for, 300 yards and multiple TDs. Hurts has not shown that. And I don't care. A.J. Brown, cool. Go ball probably will happen occasionally. I don't know where you guys are at with the NFC, but I know one thing. The Eagles, I think, are a great team. But when it comes to matching up with the Lions, I see some problems that could favor the Lions, certainly, from what I've seen out of the Eagles this year.
I've been steady on that. I've said the Eagles, like on paper, they look scary, but like going into Philadelphia, people are like, oh, if it snows, are you worried about Jared Goff? Like, maybe, but I'm more worried about Jalen Hurts because of the pure arm. Like Jalen Hurts' production and the wow factor around Jalen Hurts is what he's been doing with his leg. And another thing I've been consistent on, and we saw it this weekend, if there's a team that I would be like, I do not want to see them. It's not the Eagles. It's not the Packers. It's not the Vikings. It's the fucking Los Angeles Rams because they can put up points with anybody. And the way that Sean McVay just knows how to scheme game from game is going to, it does. It scares me. I know I'm a Stafford. I don't align with the Stafford lovers, but Stafford is a damn good football player. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been in big moments. And the fact that you can pile onto it, the last matchups that they've had, the last 2 of them, one was a playoff game and then open the season, the Lions have beat them. It's tough to beat a coach, a team, a roster like that 3 times. And then you can laugh at it all you want, but it's very true. If Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams, even if it was coming into Ford Field again, which it obviously would be, that's the matchup where I'm like, I don't know about that one. If you look at the playoff standings right now, if the Lions get the number 1 seed, if the Los Angeles Rams were to win the way it's shaped off right now, they'd most likely play them again. So I'm not worried about the Eagles at all because, like I said, I think as the season goes on, you start to see them deteriorate. The Eagles always peak when it's to the first 14, 10 weeks, whatever you want to call it, but they always fluster out. But the team that always gets better and better as the season goes on and always ends up being that team you don't want to see in the playoffs, it's the Los Angeles Rams, especially now the fact they got Blake Corum going a little bit. That's the team I'm terrified of if there was going to be one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really terrified of the Rams, to be honest. No offense, Klotz. I do think offensively they're getting things going. I think the Lions would handle them again. I know what they just did to the Bills. I think the Lions would handle them again. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams somehow ran into some other injury over the next few weeks and disrupts their season. I would say this with the Eagles. The turmoil internally, it's hard to get over things like that. And when you like internally have some turmoil like that and you get some sort of pressure in some like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Just anything that like any road bump in your season, and especially in the playoffs, like any type of road bump that hits you, that's when things start to go bad. And like, I've seen some Philly fans, to be honest, online mention that they feel like Philly will lose in round 1. With what's going on right now. Like, yeah, they're 12-2 or 11-2, whatever it is. And things feel good because of the record. But when you look, like we watched that game, fellas, or Jeff, I mean, I was with you watching that Panthers game. They did not look like an 11-2 football team. And they've had multiple games where they just got lucky and sneaked by compared to the Lions who, they find ways to win. And the Eagles, like, it's not even finding ways to win. Like Xavier Legette, no offense, Klotzy, the man
Hey,
had a ball
easy.
thrown right to his chest and dropped it at the 1 yard line. And if he catches that, Eagles are 10-2. So it's like that big of a difference to where they're just getting lucky. Like Justin Tucker missing field goals, like just to lose the game, like that just does not happen. And the Eagles have just been finding these ways to win where it's just like other teams are handing them the win. So I don't know if I had, honestly, someone mentioned this to me the other day. I think it might've been you, Jeff, a couple of days ago, like playing like a Packers team for a third time. Like when you play a team for a third time in the NFL, that's when like it gets a little tougher. And it's tough to beat a team 3 times in the NFL. So if you get to the NFC Championship game, yeah, you're going to be at home versus the Packers, but those are those games where I dread. Like I hope the Lions don't have to play the Packers just based off of, hey, this is the third time we're playing you. Like it is tough to do it. I have confidence Dan and them would find a way to win, but I just don't want to be in that position. I would rather go play a Philly team for the first time or a Rams team for the second time, or a Commanders team or something like that. So. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I'll say this with the other teams like the Packers. I think that would be divisional game, number one. Number two, I think the Packers and Lions both know each other very well. So that's why those matchups are always tough because they're familiar. They know what the Lions want to do. The Lions know what the Packers want to do. And to your point, beating a team 3 times is tough. But I will say probably going to Green Bay or going to Detroit, excuse me. They've shown this year, like I know it was a battle, but I would still feel confident they could beat no matter who's there. But the Eagles, I sense some fraudness to them. I mean, the Lions, at least what they can do is take care of teams that they are significantly better than. Jags, Titans, Panthers, if they were to play them this year. But Jags, Titans, they took care of. Colts, they took care of. Teams Cowboys, they took care of. The Eagles had close games with the Titans. They had close games with the Jags, close game with the Panthers. Like they play down to their competition. Like I've noticed that with the Eagles too. Like to your point about the Rams, like at least the Rams can beat you in 2 different ways. Like at least the Rams have Matthew they have 2 great receivers and a running back. Like the Eagles to me, and I don't want to sound like Hurts is terrible, but he is nowhere near close to what Stafford is as a passer. Like, especially you have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, who are one of the best wide receiver duos, and they are, like, frustrated visibly. So, like, how it is, guys. Football is a game of matchups. Like, the Rams' defense is sliced bread, but at least their offense, I would be like, okay. Like, they have some weapons. The Eagles, they have weapons, but I'm sorry. They have an offensive line. I get all that, but no way Hurts is beating you with his arm. Barkley's going to have to go just absolutely insane if they
that would be like, hey, let's just stop Saquon Barkley. You win the game. That's it.
Yeah, I truly believe that would be the game because you really think throwing deep to A.J. Brown, a go ball with Kirby Joseph over there is going to fly?
No.
Like, no.
You're going to have to do it 10 times in a game. Like, it's just not going to work.
No, it's not. Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.